Next on Newswatch at noon, we have your summer construction roundup. Find out what areas of OU's campus to avoid.
It's been a year since the Nelsonville Square fire. We'll tell you how community support is helping to rebuild the historic square.
And OU President McDavis talks about campus achievements in 2015, including raising $500 million in the Promised Lives campaign. Newswatch at noon starts now. The Attorney General ordered rape kit testing for old cases in Ohio. Good afternoon, I'm Megan Vanslow.
And I'm David Michael. A small number of those kits were from Athens. As many as seven rapes in Athens may be on their way to being solved through rape kit testing, ordered by the Attorney General. Krista Frott is live in the newsroom with the numbers.
The testing was part of a one-year trial period that allowed police departments in Ohio to get rape kits tested free of charge. And most of the kits that were submitted by Athens area law enforcement have been tested, and the results are promising. As of the beginning of April, more than 60 rape kits had been submitted to the Attorney General's office for testing. The most, 45 kits, came from Ohio University Police Department. Of those, the testing matched 3 DNA records in the state database. Of the 10 submitted by the Athens County Sheriff's Department, 2 matched the DNA records. And of the 15 kits submitted by the Athens Police Department, 2 matches were returned.
But it is a lengthy, very scientific process. We've gotten to, the number of kits tested per month varies per month, but I think the peak, for several months we were testing around 300 of these old kits a month, but it varies per month.
The initiative began in 2011 when Attorney General Mike DeWine noticed rape kits throughout the state were sitting around in police departments. DeWine decided to start an initiative to allow departments to send in rape kits from as far back as 25 years for free. While police departments can no longer have those kits tested for free, they're now required to send the rape kits in for DNA testing.
Okay, if you've got a kit from an old case and you believe that it's connected to a crime, the kit, should be submitted. Even if it's a case that, might not be prosecutable, it should still be submitted because you get these kits and, maybe it can help you link other crimes.
The new question for local law enforcement is what to do with the information returned from the testing. So far, Athens PD or the Athens Prosecutor's Office has not announced how they'll use that information. Now, just 8 kits remain to be tested, and that's of the 62 submitted by Athens law enforcement.
Thanks, Krista. To learn how the Attorney General is handling the backlog of rape kits, visit wub.org/studentmedia.
The Columbus Police SWAT officer shot in the head Sunday died last night, but he will live on through one final act of service. Stephen Smith was surrounded by family when he died after 2 days on life support. He was an organ donor, and his organs gave life to 8 people. Smith was shot when SWAT officers tried to serve a warrant on a man who barricaded himself in his Clintonville home. Suspect Lincoln Rutledge is being held without bond after appearing in court yesterday. Homicide charges are expected to be filed against Rutledge. A group of students and gun rights advocates plan to openly carry guns on Miami University's campus. The group says their goal for the April 30th event is to educate the public about firearms and open carry laws. Participants are encouraged to bring long guns and pistols to the gun walk. One of Ohio University's students sees the positive of the open carry event on a college campus.
Well, at first you think there's a bunch of guns on campus that there could be some negatives to it, but for a rally for guns, I think it could be a positive thing. As long as everyone's aware of guns and more socially aware and knowledgeable, I think it could have a lot of positive impacts.
Parents of some Miami University students have expressed their concerns on a Facebook page for the event. Students interested in attending are encouraged to contact the University of Miami Police to find out how to store the weapon prior to the event.
A Nelsonville resident wants to remove Nelsonville Councilman Terry Coons. The Athens Messenger reports Vicki McDonald is asking for a recall vote against Coons for what she describes as neglect of duty and conduct unbecoming to an elected official. The recall effort stems from an argument during an executive session of council. Coons told the Athens Messenger he did not intend to resign after the argument. McDonald is currently gathering petition signatures to get a recall vote on the ballot. While one city position may open up, the council looks to fulfill another. The Athens Messenger reports the Nelsonville City Council selected a new city manager on Monday, but they have not made the selection public. 4 candidates were interviewed by council last week: Gary Edwards, Ron Lucas, Daniel Wendt, and Chester Gallant. The council will announce their choice during a special meeting this evening at 5:30. And one of the big challenges for leaders in Nelsonville has been recovering from the Nelsonville Square fire. It was a year ago today that the fire consumed Stewart's Opera House and the Majestic Galleries. The Hocking County Art Gallery's roof collapsed. The community has come together to rebuild the historic square. Nelsonville Fire Department Chief Harry Barber said the support of the community has been strong since the day of the fire.
The fire department's always had backing from the community, and that showed during the fire on the square also, and has been present since the fire. The support from the public is still there. We've always had good support.
Both Stewart's Opera House and Majestic Galleries are reopened.
Warmer weather means more opportunity for outdoor work. Ohio University and the city of Athens took full advantage of our mild winter and are continuing work on a number of construction projects. Newswatch at Noon reporter Alex Lumley is live at one of those projects and tells us what to expect over the summer.
If construction on campus and around the city of Athens was bad during the winter, it's only going to get worse as temperatures increase. Summer provides the best weather for construction, and the absence of students makes it an ideal time to move equipment into less populated areas. Athens residents have grown used to the disruptions that construction brings. Those disruptions will continue throughout the summer. Some university construction projects will be complete by the time students return in August, but others, like the College Gateway, will take a little more time. Work on the College of Education's McCracken Hall, which began last year, is expected to be completed sometime in the spring of 2017. Just across the street from McCracken, residential housing is set to begin renovation of Jefferson Hall. Although that building isn't being torn down, the renovation will start as soon as students leave in May and will last for more than a year.
We're doing what you call full rehabilitation, so it's a gut of everything will come out outside of the walls in some regard. The exterior walls, the exterior work will be done. The roof had been renovated several years ago, so that doesn't need to be done, but almost everything else needs to be. So that's a 15-month project.
As for projects that may be completed by the end of August, Culinary Services will be giving Baker Center's West 82 cafeteria a facelift. Construction of fire-damaged West Union Street will be much farther along, if not finished, and an off-campus student apartment complex called Rivergate should be open for business. That should come as a relief for nearby residents.
The Rivergate construction is the bane of my existence. It happens every morning at 7 a.m., so I always wake up to construction. Me and my roommates wake up to construction. And then when I come home later in the evening, sometimes 5 p.m., 6 p.m., they will still be working on Rivergate.
Although many projects will be wrapped up by the time students return in the fall, Ohio University's comprehensive master plan is calling for several new projects extending even beyond the graduation date of next fall's freshman class. Reporting live from College Green for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Alex Lumley.
Thanks, Alex. Construction on campus is just one part of OU President Roderick McDavis's annual President's Report. The report details multiple accomplishments throughout the last academic year. Newswatch at Noon reporter Catherine Blaine takes a glimpse inside the report.
Another year has gone by at Ohio University. With another academic year comes a new set of accomplishments and setbacks. Today, President Roderick McDavis detailed the school's activity with an email to students and faculty. President McDavis boasts receiving $500 million as part of the Promise Lives campaign in 2015. The report goes on to recognize 10 Fulbright scholars at OU. And the report even gives a shout out to the Marching 110, being named one of the top college marching bands in America. In the academic realm, freshman retention rates have increased by 1.4%. So now, 80% of freshmen stay after their first year. But that means 20% of students still leave, so almost 900 students are dropping out. According to the Office of Institutional Research at Ohio University, most of the students drop between spring and fall semesters. Although a lot of students are dropping out after their first year, OU still has a better retention rate than most Ohio public universities. Reporting for WOEB News, I'm Catherine Blaine.
Thanks, Catherine. The report also includes Ohio's approach to innovation, globalization, debt management, and other university priorities. You can find the full report on OU's website. A boil water order is issued for residents on several local streets. Longview Heights from Old Coach Road to Pomeroy Road, from Road, Pleasant Hills Road, Pomeroy Road, Warren Road, Far Hills Drive, and Avalon Drive. A boil order is a precautionary measure that the Ohio EPA recommends public water suppliers to issue when the pressure in the water distribution system drops. Due to a water main break, local flooding, structure fires, or even regular operational maintenance. Verizon workers want more protection and seek new agreement with the telecom giant.
And GOP candidate John Kasich talks about his visions for the nation at the town hall meeting Monday.
Less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A legislative task force has been studying the future of legalized medical marijuana in Ohio. The group was created after Ohio voters defeated a ballot measure last fall to legalize cannabis for personal and medical use. The panel wrapped up its work last month with a marathon session where they heard from about 40 people. The task force is currently presenting their results in a news conference. And another political hot topic being discussed by the Ohio House, a House committee is considering possible changes to legislation regulating how abortion providers handle fetus remains. One bill would require aborted fetuses to be buried, cremated, or incinerated. A separate measure would require fetal remains to be buried or cremated, but not incinerated. In both cases, the decision would be left up to the pregnant woman. And it's a busy week for Ohio lawmakers. Republican John Becker is proposing several changes to campaign finance reporting. Becker introduced a bill that would no longer require candidates who raised less than $2,000 to file a report. It also would stop requiring reports of income or expenses for a single entity totaling less than $100. The bill also seeks to phase in electronic filing. It would start with county-wide candidates in 2017 and trustees and school board candidates in 2018.
Ohio Governor John Kasich says he is taking the high road. The presidential hopeful gave a speech last night titled 2 Paths, and while he didn't directly name Donald Trump or Ted Cruz, the Ohio governor called out his Republican rivals for igniting fear in the American people. Kasich says he would lead the nation down a better path.
As for me, as I have said repeatedly, I will not take the low road to the highest office in the land. I will simply not do it.
The 3 Republican candidates will face off next week in New York's GOP primary. Thousands of Verizon employees in several states walked off the job earlier this morning. Employees want a new labor agreement with the telecom giant, as many have been working without contracts since last August. Verizon says thousands of non-union workers have been trained to cover new assignments because of the strike, but employees say their jobs can't be learned quickly or easily. While some workers are striking, others may be suffering from job cuts after the nation's largest coal miner, Peabody Energy, is seeking bankruptcy protection. Peabody filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection this morning. The filing comes less than 3 months after another from Arc Coal, the second largest miner, which also filed bankruptcy. New energy technology, tightening environmental regulations, and shifts to natural gas have throttled the industry. Looks like it's going to be warming up here, and we're going to finally get some sunshine.
And find out how Athens High School Diamonds are picking up and moving forward in the season when we return.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
I still saw a couple people out this morning with those heavier jackets on today.
It was still a little bit brisk, but I think warmer weather is coming, but let's check with Rachel Nemi.
Yeah, you know, guys, it was still jacket weather this morning, but that's definitely not the case out there now. Look at Athens right here today, 61 degrees out there, and that sunshine, it's making a comeback after those rainy days that we had. But we have winds at 4 miles an hour, so it's keeping things breezy out there, so those warmer temperatures aren't going to get too unbearable out there, so it's still going to be a nice spring day. And if we check around the area right now, everywhere is looking pretty much the same. We're all in those mid to upper 50s. Athens here, 52 degrees. Ripley down here, 55 degrees. But Ironton, 57 degrees, almost reaching 60 today. So it's going to be a nice day out there. And if we look at our almanac, our high today is 61 degrees, but our normal is 54. So we're a little warmer than we should be for this time of year, but nothing too drastic. And if we look at our low, 36 degrees, I know it feels a little cold out there. That's not what you want to hear, 36 in April, but that is normal for this time of year because our normal low is 34 degrees. But check this out. Our record in 1906 was 86 degrees, and our low in 1973 was 21 degrees. But our sunset is at 8:04 tonight, and that is giving us those longer days, a sure sign that summer is on its way. And if we look at our precipitation counts, we can see over here on the East Coast by Ohio, we have this high pressure, and that high pressure system is giving us those warmer temperatures and that nice weather that we are going to be having for a couple days. But if we look at over here on the West Coast, we have all this green and this low pressure, and that green is rain, and that's going to be moving in with this low pressure. So rain and cooler temperatures might be headed our way. We'll have to see what happens in our 7-day forecast. But if we check out our afternoon highs for tomorrow, it's still going to be a nice day out there. Athens tomorrow reaching 68 degrees, Jackson 69, and Ironton down here breaking that 70-degree mark with 73 degrees out there tomorrow. So it's going to be a beautiful day. But look at our overnight lows. They're getting chilly in the only to mid 30s. Athens 35 degrees, Ripley 33 degrees, and those 30-degree temperatures are giving us a possible chance of a freeze warning. Now, we're right at the tipping point in most spots, so it's not for sure yet if it's going to get cold enough for frost out there, but if you have those plans, cover them up, bring them inside just in case. And if we check out our temperature tonight in Athens, we're at 32 degrees. And like I said, there is that chance of a freeze watch. Nothing's for sure yet. 32 degrees right on that tipping point, but better to be safe than sorry with those plans. And if we check out our hour by hour, it's going to be a beautiful night with temperatures at 8 p.m. 53 degrees. We move to midnight, getting a little chillier at 40. 6 a.m. hitting that 32-degree mark. Like I said, it's going to get chilly out there. And if we check out our 7-day forecast, we can see Thursday's at 68 degrees, and we move into Friday with sunny weather, and that sunny weather is going to continue for the rest of the weekend. Look at, we have Saturday 69, Sunday we're breaking into the 70s with 74 degrees, and that's continuing into Monday. But Tuesday and Wednesday, rain chances are up, and it's getting cloudy out there, guys, so enjoy the nice weather while you can.
You know, Rachel, I'm really glad to hear that news about the weekend, but also through the week as well.
Yeah, it's going to be sticking around nice weather.
Absolutely. And even it does, so you said at night, if it gets a little chilly, you can head into the Galbraith Chapel this afternoon for an organ concert.
And check out the 2 free events helping you with your family live healthy on today's community calendar. Looks like the men's golf team improved a bit between Monday and those Tuesdays, the 2-day and the Invitational.
Absolutely. I believe, Nicole Schneider, I think you have the story on that.
Yes, they definitely did improve. The Greenbrier Invitational has the OU golf team shouting 4th instead of 4 as they finished in 4th place yesterday in West Virginia. The Bobcats as a team shot 29 over par in their 54-hole 3-round outing. OU finished behind East Tennessee State, who shot 6 over par, Eastern Kentucky, who shot 21 over par, and Western Kentucky, who shot 26 over par. Individually, Bobcat junior Peyton White shot 1 over par for the tournament as he tied for 5th overall. Ohio closes their season next weekend at Ball State Invitational. Ohio baseball team's winning streak is in full swing. The Bobcats defeated Dayton last night 4-3. Leading for the Cats at the plate was junior shortstop Ty Black with a 2-for-4 effort and an RBI, while freshman first baseman Rudy Rott singled, drove in 2 runs, and scored another. But pitching for Ohio was redshirt sophomore Michael Klein, who struck out 3 over 4 frames, allowed 2 earned runs on 2 hits, and a walk. Jerry Salisbury relieved Klein on the mound, throwing 3 scoreless innings, then striking out 2 while giving up 2 hits. This is the Bobcats' 3rd win in a row, and they're looking to continue this streak in this weekend's 3-game set against Bowling Green. Moving from the college fields to the Athens High School Diamond, reporter Jordan Gallagher has the story on how the Bulldogs are trying to pick themselves up after a rough start to their season.
After a tough stretch to start the season, the Athens Bulldogs sit at just 3-7 through 10 games and have lost each of their last 4, but simply put, the Bulldogs aren't worried.
We wanted to have a better start to the season, but I also think this is kind of a new core of guys, and we're learning to turn it around, and I think the second half is going to be a lot more wins than last season.
The Bulldogs know that they can play well, especially after an early season stretch that saw them score 38 runs over 4 games while winning their only 3 games during that stretch. If you ask anyone on the team, Athens believes that they can get back to those winning ways, and doing so is all about finding their mental toughness. A mental toughness Bulldogs coach Chris Stewart felt the team got away from on its losing streak.
We had, I would call it probably a little bit of a mental breakdown. We we got lazy in a lot of ways, mentally and physically, and we weren't very tough emotionally.
But after a team meeting and a few practices, that mental toughness and early season mojo, a mojo that some may even call cocky, is back.
I think teams still are afraid of us.
Teams already are, man. They just see us walking around and they're scared.
Yeah.
We're some intimidating, handsome men. Concerned? No. We're about to smash everyone in the second half, no doubt.
Yeah.
About to get shellacked, as they say.
The Bulldogs will have their first opportunity to shellac the opposition tonight at home against the Jackson Ironmen.
And if the Bulldogs can get a win over the Ironmen, they will have a strong chance to start a new win streak. After Jackson, the Bulldogs' next two opponents have a combined record of just 3-12. From high school dreams to the big leagues, the Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago Cubs tonight in Chicago. The game follows Monday's home opener for the Cubs against the Reds, where the Reds held a 3-0 lead for most of the game, but eventually lost 3-5 during the 8th inning. First pitch for tonight is set for 8:05. The Cleveland Indians are feeling the sting of the Tampa Bay Rays after last night's 5-1 loss. Francisco Lindor got the first run on the board for the Indians in the 4th inning with his first home run of the season. Indians pitcher Corey Kluber held off the Rays over 7 innings, but Logan Forsythe and Evan Longoria both hit 2-run home runs in the 8th inning for the Rays. The Indians are looking for a comeback tonight as they take on the Rays again at 7. In other Cleveland news, the Cavaliers play the Detroit Pistons tonight for the last game of the regular season. The game is at the Q with tip-off set at 8 p.m. The Cavs are set in the #1 seed for the East following Monday's 109-94 win over Atlanta, while the Pistons earned 8th seed after losing to Miami 99-93 yesterday. Both teams are expected to rest most of their regulars tonight in preparation for the playoffs. While the Cavs are expected to be missing star players on the court tonight, the NBA will be missing one of its star players forever. Kobe Bryant will take the floor as an NBA player for the final time tonight. At age 37, Kobe has played for the Los Angeles Lakers for 20 years, winning 5 championships. The Lakers play against the Utah Jazz at home at 10:30.
I think I'll be okay. You know, I think that comes from how I learned how to play the game, which I learned how to play the basics of the game first, the fundamentals, the footwork, spacing, moving without the ball, thinking through things. And I think that's helped me now.
Any other season, Kobe Bryant's retirement would have been the biggest story. However, tonight the Golden State Warriors have the chance to break a record that has lasted for 20 years. If the Warriors win tonight, then they could reach 73 wins, the most in a single NBA season. Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls currently share the record with the Warriors. Golden State takes on Memphis tonight at 10:30. And finally, tonight marks the start of the NHL playoffs. The games on the slate include the defending Eastern Conference champion, Tampa Bay Lightning, taking on the Detroit Red Wings at 7, and the Pittsburgh Penguins hosting the New York Rangers at 8. In the West, we have the St. Louis Blues traveling to Chicago to take on the defending Stanley Cup champion Blackhawks, who are led by Captain Jonathan Toews and Hart Trophy favorite Patrick Kane. Well, it's definitely going to be a busy night for sports, so a lot to look forward to tonight.
That's right. The playoffs are always an exciting time. Thanks, Nicole. Octopus are very intelligent creatures, often known for pushing boundaries. But one national aquarium had a curious octopus on their hands. Get this, the manager of the National Aquarium of New Zealand says Inky the octopus found a weak spot in his tank and escaped. The smart sea creature squeezed out of a small gap in the top of his tank, slithered across the floor of the aquarium, down the seawater runoff pipe to a local bay, and on to freedom. Officials expect Inky is most likely back in his natural habitat. That's it for Newswatch at noon. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a nice night.